Yeah, he moves the checkers around. Yeah, so you're constantly in a different spot. Yeah. Oh, I know.
Just trying to keep you on your toes.
The only rule I've got is keep me small. Yeah, hey, we full screen.
I'm still waiting for this filter to take off 50 pounds. I think they say if the camera has
Yeah, show me that.
I'm still waiting for the 50.
Yeah. You know, 50 Send it to me. Yeah.
Hey, Katina.
That's where I got to.
It's good to shake things up.
We're just together.
Man down in Florida, real estate agent. Things like that. Is it a good hole? Could be interesting.
Mark, you're looking quite dapper with the jacket.
Oh, that's true.
We're ready? Yeah. All right. Sit anywhere.
We got more people coming, but traffic is on.
Yeah, traffic light laws, but we're gonna start on 6:30 because it's 6:30. Right?
It's 6:30.
It's 6:30 somewhere. Oh, what Miller time. I was never a Miller time fan. All right, which camera are we on?
We are coming to you.
All right.
Oh, we need to wave at,
You can see it, yeah.
Hey, Doc.
Let's see, which camera is on? Looks like that camera is on behind. Anyway, what green is for the two new people here. At least. Three. And I was telling you about the program where, as a matter of fact, there's the guy who started that educational program, which is this cameras and is right there. I hired him. He's left the Catholic diocese and now works for us as our director of education. That's Andrea Molinari. Hello, Andrea.
Hello.
Anyway, in the dark over there is Robert Obrowski from Fort Myers, Florida. Hello, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Hey. And it looks like Dennis's wife, Marilyn, is blacked out, but she's hiding in there.
Hi, Marilyn.
She has her curlers on. She's hiding. And there could be other people on here on the phone or elsewhere, but they don't want their picture on the screen, and that's fine. This gets projected live all over anywhere you have internet. Take it on at 6:30, wherever the time is in that place. We get to see them. They get to see us live, so they can participate, not just hear a broadcast and not be able to ask any questions. They can talk, ask questions, and we can answer questions, or we can ask them questions. That's the essence of this green platform that we have here. Oh, a couple of weeks ago, I was in Florida. I told you we videotaped I like to say we shot, but Doc doesn't like Philly people who say we shot somebody doing something. We videotaped my old broker in Florida, who's like the smartest guy I know, about real estate. And on his under his tiki hut, on a corner of a canal in Cape Coral, Florida, beautiful day, yachts going by, and we did a 4-hour classroom. And he was fantastic. Yesterday, we had two things happen. One, we had, if Marcus would put the...
Yesterday, we had a live class through this system here. Marcus, can you put up...
Megan?
Yeah.
This little girl here is in Tampa, Florida. Oh, there she is. That's Megan Galeen. She taught a class on self-directed IRAs. If you don't have an IRA, if you don't have a self-directed IRA, you're just losing money hand over fist. I got the whole packet. I'm already filling them all. Matter of fact, I already sent them back to her today. She gave the class yesterday. My jaw dropped. Of all the money that we're wasting, we don't know we're wasting. We talked about, Larry knows, we talked about 1031 exchanges. You know, we have 1031 exchanges. You know what that is? Where you can transfer, you sell a house, you can buy another house within 6 months and transfer the tax. There's some rules. We have a trainer for that. In fact, I got that information today because Steve and I are doing a deal and we're saving a lot of money on a tax deal. So Megan gave that class yesterday, a 1-hour class for our members. Also yesterday, Andrea was over Fort Myers. He's in West Palm Beach. He drove over to Fort Myers with our photographer. And we videotaped Larry doing another little class for us, live. Well, I mean, he was doing it. He was going out to a house. Larry's not with us, is he, Andrea? No?
I don't see him.
Okay. I was hoping he would pop on real quick. Maybe he'll get on a little later. He was out looking at a house that he was going to buy, estimating quickly in his head what the cost would be. Steve does this, so all good realtors do this. You probably do this too. You estimate what the value is of the house fixed. You look at the house. You estimate, what the age of the roof, whether it needs work or not. You go inside the house. You estimate the repairs. You take out your profit and such like that, and you give a price. Doc was out there yesterday doing this videotape. I'm going to show a little clip of that right now, of this tape that we videotaped yesterday. And that's sort of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to watch this for 5 or 10 minutes. And you can meet Larry. At least you can meet him live up on the screen here. Let's make him full screen, will you, Marcus?
All right.
And Marcus, we should start out with the kitchen bathroom one.
Okay.
You'll have a lot. That's fine. Can you turn the lights off, please?
Oh, man.
All right, I hope we got sound.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. All right, so let me pause this
Pause it.
and I'll jump to the other one so I can grab that sound off the.
Icon there on the left?
No, it should be on.
Oh, so that's something else?
Yeah, something else.
You can always check the value and control and see what's going on with that. Because at the end of the day, you can always troubleshoot. Still wonderful. I went through last time.
Marcus, you might be losing a job. This guy might take it here. There you go.
We decided to step back into the most important parts of the rehab of the home. There's like 4 major parts that are the most expensive. One, of course, is the roof. 2 is the AC. But 3 and 4 is the kitchen and the bathroom. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time in the kitchen and some alternatives for you. We already talked about the alternative of leaving this kitchen or replacing this kitchen. And that's a difference of like $5,000 with the size of this kitchen. I'm choosing in this particular area with this particular resale price to keep this kitchen. Some of you might say, "Oh, that's crazy, because a nice brand new kitchen, you get $5,000 more for the house, or maybe even 10. Now, if I could get 10 more and spend 5, I might do it. But to spend 5 to get more, 5 more, and take more time and a lot more money outlaid, I don't think it's worth it. But that's your opinion, okay? That you can do that however you want. And again, I think it really depends on the resale price or the market value of the homes you're flipping, whether you do that or not. And of course, it depends on the condition of those cabinets. Are they salvageable? Okay. Now, here's another thing. A little thing about the kitchen. that you can save some money. You might be running low. You might find something else wrong with the basement or something else wrong with the roof or whatever, and you're out of budget, so you need to save some money. You find a used appliance company in town. And to give you a little idea, if we replace a dishwasher, a refrigerator, brand new, we're going to probably be talking somewhere between $1,400 and $1,600. Okay? Now, you could go to a used appliance company, and we have several of them around here, okay? And you could probably get a dishwasher, range, and refrigerator for somewhere around half that, probably $700 or $800. Now, that's only a $700 or $800 savings, but you may, out of budget, spend $700 or $800 more on the wood replacement of your roof, or maybe there was a wall that had a damage that you spent more money on it. And to stay in the budget, could you do that? I like the fact of being able to have the brand new sticker on the appliances and say it is brand new, no one else has used it, you have a warranty and everything else. But you know what? If you put a new used appliance in that looks brand new, and you can get them like for half price, why not? It's just saleable. You know, you don't have that new warranty sticker and stuff like that, but that's a way of saving some money. So let's go to the bathroom. We're going to talk about that too. Come on over here. We'll look at this bathroom. Ideas brought up about this. I know this is a little small in here, but if you notice, this is the one where we have the tile here, and I recommended that we take a section tile and try to either match the tile or get a complementary color of tile and put that section in. There's also decorative tile you can buy because you can actually dress it up with pieces of glass, you know, not necessarily marble, but you can really complement the colors. Now, kind of a, what is this, a gray or whatever with green? Now that's, you know, you might say, yuck, that's ugly. However, if you look at this tile goes all the way around. So if you're going to demo this tile out of this bathroom, you're talking about two hefty men, strong, hefty men, and you're going to wear them out completely in one day. It'll probably take 2 days to tear all this out. Okay, now you might be more of a man than me, and you can do it yourself in a day. But I just think that to tear all this out is why I'm choosing to keep it, is because I think it's not bad. Number one, we test it to make sure that it's not loose behind. But I think repairing it is better. The same thing with the tub. This is an old cast iron tub, and it probably will clean up. Okay, you can also paint tubs, and you can reglaze tubs. You can have that done, and that looks, it stain too bad. But I bet you this tub will probably clean up. To give you an idea, to tear all this out and put new tile back in, new tub, new valve, new everything. Okay, we're talking about $2,500 plus, maybe $3,000. Is that $3,000 going to get you $3,000 more for the home? Maybe. I'm choosing to maybe do the least I have to get it turned around and flipped and sold. Okay, this is all preference. These are things you need to take into consideration. I may change my mind after the guys try to either match the tile or maybe some of the other tiles are loose. We may change our mind and say, let's just go ahead and get rid of all of it. Put a whole new tub and a whole new valve in and everything else, which will probably still replace the valve. So we're at a difference of fixing this and cleaning this up of maybe $500 versus $2,500 and $3,000. So there's a choice you make. If it's shot, then you got to do the $3,000 method. Okay. If it's not, try to salvage it and try to come out of it maybe a little bit ahead. And again, it depends on your budget. Learn from green. Okay, when we first arrived here, we talked about the landscaping. We talked about all this overgrowth and everything else. Another power team member might be someone that either does landscaping or it's a handyman that maybe has a big trailer or whatever and has some chainsaws and some clippers and edgers and stuff like that. And you need to get that person over to the property and kind of give an estimate. In my opinion, what we have to do here is we have to get all of this stuff cut way back. This can come off at the ground and it'll finally rot away. We do have, if you notice in here, we do have some brick or some type of a concrete edging that once we cleaned all this out here, we could put some small plants in, very inexpensive, you know, $5, $6, $7 Junipers are good ones. That's like an evergreen. Crotons in this area is another one, but there's all kinds of hibiscus, all kinds of different plants that you can get very inexpensively at one of the department stores, and you can plant. And then also this red mulch, I like that, or cedar mulch, $2 a bag. You know, and what you do is make this place look, after you paint it, get everything all cleaned up, get all this foliage all cut back. There might be some plants you want to keep and kind of shape them a little bit. Other ones you're going to cut to the ground and hope they die. Okay, clean that all up. But there's some things in the backyard that we noticed here that are scary that we want to share with you. So come on back to the backyard and we'll talk more about that. This, of course, once you clean it all out, this will let some more light in. And what I would do is make that just a very small hedge, you know, all the leaves and everything. And come back here, you got some beautiful pine trees back here. Trim all this stuff out away from the house. I mean, we're talking about a couple of handymen or yourself or whatever you want to do, a little shredding and a little bit of labor. Come in here and clean this yard up. But there's some things that we notice here that are possibly very major. Let me share one of them. Come on back here. Evidently, at one time in the past, a storm or whatever made this one of the pine trees, and you can see the one pine tree there is dead also. This one was too, and you can see where it broke off in there. I don't know if you can see in there. It broke off in there and fell down and bent the neighbor's fence. Now, it looks as though on the tree on that side of the fence, the neighbor took care of himself. But what we would have to do, I'm sure the neighbor's going to want us to fix that metal. Okay, so we have a fence repair there probably, or it would be a good gesture to repair that for the neighbor. We're not talking a lot of money, and obviously the tree from this house made that fence that way. Okay, so that would be a nice gesture for our neighbor. Maybe he would help us out in the future, you know, by treating him correctly. All right, but we have to chop this tree up, a chainsaw, a good heavy-duty chainsaw, cut it up and maybe stack it over here for firewood or whatever. You've got all kinds of cleaning up to do in here, all kinds of stuff that needs to be cleaned up. So you're talking about 2 men at least a day, if not 2 days, just to clean up the yard. Now, this is not something that I noticed readily. I didn't come back to the backyard, and it was brought to my attention here today, filming this house, okay? This is an example of how, you know, we had the shortcut on the appliances. Maybe we would do used appliances, nice, good-looking used appliances instead of brand new appliances. And that $800 we'd save there, we could turn around and get this yard done. So you need to change some things sometimes. Also, if you notice here that when this tree fell, it probably took the wires down that fed the electric to the house, and either broke it or the power company disconnected it, and it's here. Now, I don't know if it's live, but one of the things we would do is get with the power company to turn power on so that we can do work in the house. Now, there's another thing that may come up as an obstacle. Just remember that a power company, when they go to hook the power up, they're going to say, well, we need to make sure that house is safe to hook power up. So now you're talking about an electrician we need to have come here to kind of check everything out. He's got to be licensed. And he says to the power company, or gives us an inspection sheet and says, okay, everything's fine, you can hook the power up. Now, I think that would be one of the first things I would do here so that we get this power line out of the yard. Okay, that could be a big safety issue. I'm sure the power company's got it disconnected up the top pole because of it being down here in the ground, but maybe not. Who knows? Okay, so that would be an issue. So this is an example of one of those things that come up as a surprise that you need to be looking for, and also consider changing some of your estimates or some of the work that you're going to do to the house because you have this issue. So it's a good example. So I hope that helps.
Do you have more?
No, just 2.
Larry was my broker for about 2 or 3 years.
Mark, I wanted to point out that Larry's actually here.
He's not going to say anything bad.
Yeah, watch what you say.
I forgot a lot. TV. Well, Larry, welcome. Larry Simons, everyone. He's one of our trainers.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I say it all the time. He's one of the smartest men I know in real estate. So.
He was amazing to hang out with yesterday. I had so much fun. It did not feel like work, and I learned a ton. I really did. He also has a way of calming you. Like believe me, when we first saw that house, I was like, oh my God. Because you didn't even get a look at the roof, and the soffits and all kinds of stuff. But he was just went through by the numbers and said, this is what we're gonna need for the roof. We've already got an estimate on it. It's about $4,900 for that, and we're gonna need the air conditioning, and it's approximately we're gonna budget to $5,000 for that. And just it was an incredible experience. It really was. Just watching him go to work, and like I said, it really made me realize that this is doable. A person can do this, and you just need guidance. And thankfully, we got Green here to provide that, and great instructors like Larry. Really.
Well, Larry, what was your thoughts when you were going out to this house the first time? How did you hear about it? What were your thoughts when you went there? What were your thoughts when you first saw the property?
Well, I thought it was a perfect example for not only our training here, but for me to buy. I mean, it was just like a no-brainer. Everything that we look for that makes it a distressed property, it was there, and yet none of it was real major. I mean, the most major thing wrong was the roof, and you get a good roofer. He comes in, he replaces the rotted wood, tears off the old, puts a new wood on, and puts a new shingle or whatever kind of roof back on the property, and now the house is dry and all dried in, and now all you have is drywall and paint and tile, and what really interests me about this house is the kitchen was salvageable. If we talked another $5,000 in this house for a kitchen, the numbers wouldn't be as good. It'd still work. And also, the thing that excited me about this house in the very beginning was the neighborhood, the area. And Mark, you used to sell real estate here, and what between McGregor and 41 is like as far as a location. It's a good location. So, pardon?
What was your search criteria when you were looking down this house?
Can't hear you.
Yeah, I couldn't hear that.
What was your search criteria?
Well, search criteria is I do a 0 to 75,000, but this this one though I got by the past client.
Well, because it's very surprising to do that here in Nashville. You won't find a garage for $75,000 here.
Yeah.
So how much is the house worth?
About 110. Fixed up.
And you bought it for what?
51.5, but with the city liens that I'll probably have to pay for, it'll be about 55, 56.
Everybody's shocked that the prices are down there.
Yeah.
And again, this is we've been agreed for. If you can't buy here, call Larry. Because
I'm a mile from the beach.
yeah, in 15 minutes you'll be at the beach. So, it's funny when you're talking about salvaging a kitchen like that. They have Maddie here, and Maddie and Paul, when they buy their properties, I mean, they trick them out to the max. But you always taught me never overbuild the neighborhood.
Correct.
I mean, fix them up clean, neat, safe, and move them,
I think it's a good philosophy, and that's why I practice it, daily. But you can, when you're talking about a more expensive neighborhood and a more expensive resale, then you have to trick it out. If you got the room there in the neighborhood and the value, then certainly put the new kitchen in, put the new floors down or whatever. But if you don't have to reach that neighborhood average or whatever, why spend the money? If it's if that bathroom was pink, now I'd have a little different thought on that.
And many of them are pink and green and all kinds of colors. And they're all 60s houses right down there, or at least that house is the 60s.
Did the 60s, yeah. That house was probably built 59, 62, something like that, yeah. And there was a lot of pink and gray bathrooms. And, you know, sometimes you get a color like that, and then they have the avocado green. I mean, come on. You know, so there are times in which you just kind of face the facts that you're going to have to tear it out.
And you were talking about the tile, and that tile is the old cemented-in tile, not the stick-on that they have today.
Yeah, and I wasn't kidding when we're talking about tearing, and you know, did the tile all the way around, all the walls of the bathroom. So if you do go to demo that tub and tile, you're talking about demoing the entire bathroom. I mean, all walls.
Yeah.
You know, and you're right. In those days, they put cement behind the tile. So we're not talking about busting ceramic tile off of drywall.
Yeah,
we're talking about busting ceramic tile off of concrete walls.
So Larry teaches. He's going to teach the last Friday of every month. But he has a couple live on the
Third Friday.
Third Friday of every month. He's live just like this, doing a 1-hour show. He has some on-demand stuff in our website that you can. He has a bunch of them, doesn't he, Doc? Isn't he 50 classes or something like that?
We're not quite there yet, but we have quite a bit, and his is a course that we're continuing to build out. Everything that you saw, those two modules that you saw, they're going to be part of the next build out. And we have about 42 minutes worth of material that's going to be added to the course. And there's more to come after that too. This will be a very big course when it's all done.
Yeah, because we're going to do a lot of these houses. Anybody have any questions for Larry?
I assume those were all built on slab in Florida.
Yeah.
Everything's slab. So I was sitting there thinking about the tub, if it was on plywood, how did...
No, that's probably a terrazzo floor, right, Larry?
I'm not sure. None of the original floor is showing. There's tile on it. And, yeah, it probably was terrazzo. Yeah.
Down in Florida, they did a lot back in the 60s, which I know because I bought many houses down there, including my own houses. They were beautiful terrazzo floors, and sometimes we just scrape the tile off and put the terrazzo back on. Those terrazzo floors are dead level. I mean, they're like pool table level.
What are you getting rent for that particular house?
Okay, Larry, what's the rent on that house?
What would the rent be?
Yeah.
About $800, $850.
750, that's what I thought, 750 to 850.
And as far as financing, does he,
I do a part of that module talks about keeping it and refinancing it and having nothing down in the deal and making a $300 a month positive cash flow. So that's not a bad alternative either.
Do you do that with like a 5-1 arm with a local bank?
I don't think he can hear you.
What kind of financing, Mark? Do you need that? I guess our mic.
Larry, how do you get the financing to do these things?
I either do it in my pension plan or just have some cash laying around.
Okay, for the average person.
When he said refi.
No, actually, I have what I call an angel. I have an attorney that likes to loan the money, that he doesn't want to be a partner in the deal. He wants to just make some interest. So he will either loan the money to my pension plan, to buy properties in my pension plan, or he'll loan it to me personally.
Actually, I sent Robert, did you get that, Robert? I sent you an email of somebody lending hard money down that way.
Yeah.
The rates were pretty reasonable, 12%, some of them 10 to 12%.
Yeah, and I've got a contact. He'll do about 80% loan to value. It's a no doc. Not interested in your credit or income, and 3 points.
Is that the fixed value or before fixed value?
Sales price.
You say 80% of the purchase price or the
Yeah.
repaired?
Purchase price.
Will we loan you any of the rehab money?
No, that said, yeah, the local guy that did Gloria's deal.
Oh, okay.
So there are hard money guys, just like there are here, and there are here in this room, actually.
Got a real hard money guy coming next week.
But, you know, like anywhere, there's hard money guys, and Larry knows most of them down that way. All right, so we wanted to talk the rest of the half hour about how do you find houses and how do you repair your houses. Some people go all the way. Hey, some people go all the way and fix them all the way up. But here in Nashville, that's what you need to do to sell these to get the best price. Down there, Larry likes to turn them fast and move on. I don't want to ask Larry how many he does. I know he does a lot of them. And he's doing more and more as he goes. Katina, you have a question for Larry? Or for anybody?
I mean, for us buying in Florida, you know, so we use those same, same finance.
Ask Larry.
Larry.
What's the question? What's the question?
My question is, if we wanted to buy in Florida, here in Nashville, will we be contacting the same hard money loan officer there? It's like he said he had somebody, or maybe someone we can get in contact with to buy there in Florida. Because I know foreign money for out of state, you know.
Yeah, that's what I found. That the people don't like to lend out of state. Maybe they don't like to sue anybody, you know, to a different state because it's a little harder.
Private lending operations tend to be very localized because the person actually doling out the money kind of has to be able to live with the property. In other words, there's people there, just like there's people here. How do you find?
You go on LinkedIn, you go on Facebook, you put the word out there. Same thing over there. Now Larry might have some contacts, or Robert might have some contacts, or you go to the network. You know the real estate groups that are down there, and you know just like here, you put your ear to the ground and you find out who's lending hard money. Larry has a nice little thing where he's also a property manager. How many properties you manage now, Larry?
Somewhere between 250 and 300.
So, he's been consistently doing this for 40 years. So, you know, you have a property manager, at least it's somebody you know. And you know, just like talking to Steve, you say, Steve, what's this house worth? Well, you know, you go to Larry. Larry, what's this? You just give him the darn address, and he'll tell you how much the house is worth, and how much the rent's worth, and how easy to get the renter. I mean, this is what they do every day. Matter of fact, I usually talk to the smart one, and then I go to his wife.
Hey, Larry, are there any, and I know you run a brokerage that specializes in investment property, but you guys have any full turn, I mean, would you call yourself like a turnkey operation? Or do you have any, I guess, I mean, that's almost what you do, is it not?
Yes, actually back 2002 through 2006, we actually had the mortgage company, the title company, the building company, our home improvement company, and then Home Hunters that does property management sales. Now we have Home Hunters, which does the property management sales.
Now we lost him. How did we lose you?
Lost you, Larry.
Did. Uh-oh.
We got you again.
Over there?
Yeah,
There you go.
Okay. I'm on a wireless headset here, so I don't know if the battery might have something to do with it or what, but it's new. What part did we miss?
We were just talking about turnkey and what you, as far as the way your brokerage operates. you were almost fully turnkey from the consumer standpoint, but you still are, from the investor standpoint, they can come to you, find an investment property, and you manage it for them.
Correct. Yeah, so I can turn around and rehab it with my home improvement company, and then resell it or rent it. So yes, we're turnkey as far as that's concerned. I can't get you the financing, but I have mortgage brokers that I can refer you to, and you know, hard money. There's a couple different ones we have, but hard money is just that. It's hard. I'd rather find some other lower interest rate source. You know, do an equity line on your house, or you know, do some type of a personal commercial loan, business loan, or something like that. But you know, if you got to do hard money, or you have to do a partner, do a partner.
Yeah, and I don't mean to, I know you mentioned you have an angel investor. May I ask what kind of interest rate you're able to negotiate?
When he does it for me, it's a 9% rate, and for my pension plan, I'm sorry. But if he does it for me to hold on to the property, he'll do it for 7%.
That's a good deal. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a great deal, and it's a $500 prepayment penalty if I pay it off sooner than 6 months.
Okay.
So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And no payments unless it's a property we hold as a rental. There's no payments. The interest just accrues.
Do you have to barter free brokerage work for the guy, or do you have to give anything else for that relationship, or is he just like you?
Well, we do all our attorney work through him.
Okay, gotcha.
All of our closings.
Okay.
Just about every closing that we have control of, we give to them. They do the closing. Any of our clients need any attorney work, you know, any legal work done, we send it to him and his firm.
A little bit of leverage in that.
Yeah. You know, and I get in exchange, I get some free, you know, some free law advice, and you know, if I need a letter sent somewhere or need to do a foreclosure or an eviction, you know, I have him available to do that. So we give him a lot of business.
Do you, we get into this topic here. Do you buy many properties at the auctions or through auctions in that area?
Well, I generally watch the Hubzu website, which is Aquin, and I've bid on those a couple times. I think I sold one to one of my Missouri investors, about 6 months ago. And HUD Home Store, I've bid on some there. I bought some there. I missed a really good deal with HUD Home Store. But yes, I use the auction, sure.
Any judicial auctions that you work with much, or?
No, I don't. No, that takes a lot of time, a lot of work to do the foreclosure auctions and the tax deeds. I don't have that much time to do that.
It's a different creature, I guess.
It is, yeah. And you're talking, I mean, your rewards are great when you get something, but my gosh, you got to work on 25 of them to get one. But it's a big hit when you get it, especially the tax deeds.
Now, Larry, there's some people in this room that would be interested in your fractional ownership.
Yes. Okay.
Just an idea of some of the, like, Larry Cox. In fact, I have to hook you two up together. You guys would be a good team. Might be interested in some of that fractional ownership stuff that you were talking about before, the beachfront property or the riverfront properties and such. So give us a little rundown on that.
Well, just the example of that beachfront duplex. I found a beachfront duplex that was listed under residential in our MLS, and it was listed last year at $1,850,000. And it's a 1-bedroom on one side and a 2-bedroom on the other, but it's right on Fort Myers Beach, right on the Gulf of Mexico, which is single family, the least expensive single family home on the Gulf, directly on the Gulf, not behind the house on the Gulf, you know, right on the Gulf. The least expensive one was $2.3 million. Okay, I found this one at 1.85, and I was interested then, and I did an email blast to my investors on that one. And my suggestion was to come in and offer, you know, $1.6 million, $1.7 million. Well, nothing happened with that. And then the listing withdrew or terminated or whatever. I didn't know what happened to it. And then later, about a month and a half ago, it came back on at $1,550,000. So I said, wow, it's back on. It's fantastic. So I did another email blast, and I went down and took a look at it, took pictures and everything else. And the listing agent shared with me that, you know, anything close to $1.5 million would get it. And I was serious about putting something together, but you know, $1.5 million is too big for me. But I was trying to put together like 10 people with, and put 20 to 25% down. So 10 people with 50 grand with the down payment. And actually the rent from that duplex would pay the payment. The payment, the taxes, insurance, and all the expenses. In fact, I think it was coming out to about $100 a month negative per 1/10 partner in the deal. And I thought, wow, to own a golf front duplex like that, that's gonna, you know, you're gonna sooner or later have it paid off, or the value's gonna go up, the rent's gonna go up. There was about $50,000 worth of rehab that we could do to it to up the rents. That was a super deal. Well, I couldn't put people together fast enough, and somebody bought it for $1,410,000.
That's two of Manny's cars.
Yeah, right. I mean, that was the deal. But I come up with those, and I can't do them myself. Okay, but if I could put 10 people together, another one that came up on the Orange River, which, you know, Mark, from being here, you know, the Orange River is nothing fantastic. It's no more than like a canal. But 8.5 acres that it was subdivided into 26 lots in 1925. So, I mean, you know, it was like grandfathered in as a subdivision, and it had a house on it. And it was listed last year for $850,000, and it was relisted here, and it came back on the market about 2-3 months ago for $560,000. And the seller was serious about selling. Well, we could have taken that house, spent about $50,000 in renovation on it, sold the house with 2 of the lots on the river, and got our $500,000 back. And we would have owned 24 lots free and clear, or $50,000 invested in 24 lots. And we're a builder now, so when I'm tied up with 2 other builders, and we could have turned that 26 lot subdivision into a moneymaker. I mean, we would have made $1 million on that deal. Now that one has not closed yet, and the due diligence on that is up in about 2 weeks. And the listing agent promised me, the listing agent is the owner's father. So as soon as that comes back on the market, if it does, he's supposed to call me, but I'm going to stay in touch with him because we need to put a deal together on that right away. And that's $560,000, what, $56,000, 10 guys, 10 people, 10 investors with $56,000, and then put another $10,000 a piece into it, renovate the house and sell it and get all our money back. I mean, that's a deal. And then the lots would sell for probably $50,000 a piece. At 20 lots, there's really about 22, but 20 lots, 2 of them are still riverfront, so you could even get more than that. So you're $1 million.
Exchange it, $100,000, 1031 exchange it.
So those type of things I come up with. Another one I found was last year, 36 acres with a 4,500 square foot clubhouse. It used to be the Fort Myers Rod and Gun Club, which was the place for the political and some of the big, how do I say it? Some of the big gurus in business in Fort Myers years ago. And it was a gun club where you go shoot, long range pistol, whatever. But the clubhouse is 4,500 square foot with cathedral ceilings, real wood beams, a big old giant fireplace. It was for sale for $379,000 for 36 acres. And I tried to put a group together on that. We had like 4 of us together, maybe the 5th person, and then someone bought it. So we missed that. But that was a good deal. I mean, I was going to go ahead and put it back into a rod and gun club.
I mean, I don't want to be famous. I'm just had like somebody over here to let us know.
Yeah,
that's why we're doing this now.
That's why we're doing this. Make sure. I'll ask around and I'll get their mailing list wired together.
Yeah, give me some emails to someone who either is interested in stuff like that, and there's no obligation. I'll email blast it out to you. You kind of look at it, kind of get my idea. Now, anytime I say, okay, 10 of us could go, 10's just a good, easy number, okay? If you have your own group, hey, 5, me and 4 other, my other buddies or something like that, we'll do that. We'll do that deal ourselves. Fine, I'll sell it to you. I don't have to put this group together and even be involved. I'd love to be involved in it, but usually I have some pretty good ideas on it. And in 2005, I put 18 investors together and bought a 100-unit motel in Cape Coral, downtown Cape Coral. And it was in the CRA, and we relisted it at $19 million. We paid $8 million for it. And we put that deal together with seller financing. Now, in the downturn in the economy, we all lost our money, so that's not a great success story, but still, putting the deal together was huge. And I managed the whole thing, and Home Improvement did all the rehab to the motel, and it was
investors.
So we all, we're all still good friends, and we all lost $3 million together. But hey, it happens, especially with our economy in 2006 and 7. I don't know. Did you do well in 2007, Mark?
Nobody.
I came up here, remember?
Yeah.
So I took my winnings from down there and brought them up here. So I lasted
Okay.
2 or 3
Well, you
years.
gued got hit up there too, did you?
Yeah, 2 or 3 years up here. That's when the wave broke up this way.
Yeah. Well, President Obama said Lee County was ground zero for the crash, and I lost $5 million.
Yeah.
But hey, we left our doors open. Still sold some real estate. Still managed the properties. We were managing like 650 rental units in 2005, and that motel.
We built all those duplexes.
Yeah, all those duplexes we built with Rossville Builders. Remember those?
Yeah. Anyway, question about anything. Larry knows everything.
No, I don't.
If he doesn't, he makes it up. Oh, that's me.
If I don't know it, I'll tell you, or I'll make it up. No. Hey, Mark, there's probably not a real estate or finance situation I have not experienced in my 40-year career. I mean, I've had a lot of things happen, and I can share I can share you my mistakes that I made and my successes, and we can, not make the same mistakes again and make a lot of money on the successes.
Ever or what? No.
What's that?
So is that why you didn't hire me back? No. You don't
I
make
didn't hire you back.
places at the deal.
Oh, wait, you thinking I'm calling you a mistake, Mark?
You have a guilty conscience. Larry, everything?
That's very interesting. Very interesting. What is when you get into putting partnerships together like that or groups, you have to be careful you run afoul of some SEC regs. What is
Well, that's that. Crowdfunding, and Steve and I talked about this, and Larry, matter of fact, I'm bringing in Doc, and we're trying to get a hold of the guy who is going to teach fractional ownership.
Mm-hmm.
There's that fine line between doing a deal with a bunch of partners and breaking the FCC rules. SEC rules.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with are you broadcasting it out?
Well, it's the line, and we're going to have it.
Yeah, that's a good topic.
That'd be an excellent program. I'd love to hear that.
The address of the property. If everybody doesn't know the address of the property, then you're just, it's a stock. If the 20 of us throw the money in and Steve does the deal, just say, listen, I just want to return. Now you're talking about stocks. If we're saying, hey, we're all going to buy this one house, you can fix it up or just put money in it, I don't care what, and then we sell the house or we break it up. But he's going to give us those hard and fast rules. And if we go over the rules, this guy, this Dr. What's his name? Doc? Hessler?
Robert Hetzler, he's a lawyer in Jacksonville.
He's gonna be able to give us the paperwork to fill out, to do these kind of things that Larry's talking
It's
about.
called TICS, tenants in common, and I have experiences personally. So you cannot, they've changed the law since then, but you cannot solicit unaccredited investors. So unaccredited investors have a net worth of less than a certain amount. And you especially cannot prepare anything that is an agreement between yourself and those investors that could be deemed to be a securities instrument, because that is a very, very bad thing. So you got to be careful how you put this stuff together. You need someone that's got all of those series, this license or series that license. Even the attorneys can't do it.
So it's a great program, but you just have to follow the rules.
You have to have the people that are putting this stuff together to do it right. But what Larry's talking about, and it's really, really good stuff. When you're in the business, this is the discussion Larry Cox and I had today. We're dealing with a builder. When you're in the business, you may be able to get something financed, but if it's going to stretch you in what you're already making money with right now, you don't want to bite off that big chunk. You have to scale yourself by adding partnerships. You got to bring extra people in to do deals, and so everybody can make money, and you make little, and everybody spreads the risk. You don't just go put all your eggs in one basket and try to finance $1 million here or $2 million here, because you need your sources of financing available for what you're making money with on a daily basis. So this fractional ownership, I'm really, really excited for us to get started with this. Everything we're doing with the 1031s and the self-directed IRAs, the fractional ownership is definitely one of the most interesting things. Where the average person can come in, bring a couple of friends, and get involved in some bigger deals.
Yeah, the groups that we put together, we had to have an attorney in Tampa kind of put it together. And the rule, you're right on, really. First of all, to solicit the deal with somebody, I have to know you. I mean, it just not an acquaintance. We have to be emailing back and forth, talking on the phone. I have to know you, and I'm bringing you into the group. Then you also have to be, like you said, an accredited investor. An accredited investor is someone who makes over $200,000 a year or has a $1 million net worth. So that would be labeling you as an accredited investor. And the only problem with that is not everybody is worth $1 million, and not everybody makes $200,000 a year. So what you do is you put your own little group together where one person is that, and maybe you share the 1/10 or 1/5 piece of that deal with that person 50-50, but he's the spokesman, he's the main guy involved, and then your deal is between y'all. So that's how someone that is not an accredited investor can be involved as true an accredited investor. So that's kind of vaguely what the rules are. I let the attorneys handle that part.
Anything else for Larry? All right. Well, it's Friday. Steve is going to put his class on for auctions. Why don't you tell us about what some of the things you're going to be talking about, Steve?
Well, it's for those of you who haven't purchased at auction, that's primarily, it's what.
Can you hear Larry? Speak up.
So auctions are what we do primarily. That's kind of my specialty. So for those of you who are members of Green, Bettina and Brandon, you guys can jump on. I'll just give you an example. I mean, we just contracted one, bought it for $82,000, sold it for $235,000. Did nothing.
They're the best at that game.
Didn't do it.
Didn't do a darn thing.
Went by, brought a.
Didn't you feel guilty and you wanted to do something to it?
You feel guilty all the time.
So that's and so what I do, I like to call it sniping, because there are different ways to make money with auctions. I put myself in a position where I can find the highest percentage of a chance, and sometimes literally, I might call someone and we only may make 5,000 the same.
Yeah, the other day we got out with no money.
Yeah. So I mean, so I teach people about how auctions work in Tennessee, and there are a lot of opportunities, and there are ways that you can do these, and you don't necessarily have to have anybody down, but you do have to work. Nothing works unless you work. So. Yeah. That's the main thing. So I'll be doing that Friday for Green members. If you guys aren't a member of Green, if we've got your information, we can tell you about the company.
Nice.
Yeah, got the driving picture there.
I didn't talk with Steve about this, but if you're not a member of Green yet, if you want to come here, you're going to do it right here on this podium. And we're going to film it. If you want to come into the audience and listen, you're welcome to come on in and listen. 10 a.m. Is that what it is? Friday at 10? Yeah.
And I'll be teaching as part of our overall education.
It's 10 Central.
I'll be teaching this once a month. Visit the first Friday of every month. I'll be teaching about auctions.
Good deal.
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
So that'd be posted on. We can watch it if we are unable to watch it live.
Yes, everything is archived. I have a good camera.
I think I'm going to be driving up to Port Charlotte to look at some green homes.
Okay.
Oh, are you? With that guy with the freeform concrete?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. The guy
talking about, hey, Mark, talking about the group investors.
Yeah.
We are trying to put something together with Kevin that you all met here. We're creating Green Block USA, LLC, okay? And we're going to be selling some licensing agreements with builders across the country, obviously with Green's help, all right? And we're talking about in Port Charlotte, there is a subdivision that he likes very much that we can buy lots pretty cheap. And what we're trying to do is build 3 to 5 homes of his models with the green block. And so with 3 homes, we're going to need about 400,000. With 5 homes, we're going to probably need about 600,000 or 700,000. And we're going to put those homes in the ground. The lot owner is going to give us the lots, and we don't have to pay him until we resell. And we're going to build 3 to 5 models there and sell them as spec homes, okay? But the idea is to sell from the model more homes down here and up there and whatever. And we're talking about possibly putting together, maybe selling 20 to 50 homes by the end of the year.
Now, I was at Larry's office 2-3 weeks ago, and they had their first meeting. They're going to have meetings in Florida. Part of Green is we're trying to set up these type meetings around the country so we can watch one of their meetings live, and they're going to be free, just like these meetings are free. We can watch their meeting live, and they're talking about buying and selling in Fort Myers, just like we usually talk about buying and selling here in Nashville. And so anybody can watch these, and vice versa, anybody can watch Larry's. Well, when I was there 2 weeks ago, a guy walked into the meeting, came a little bit late, and he explained that to me. He had these preformed concrete Lego blocks. Basically, you can pour 6-inch, 12-inch, or 4-inch, 6, 8, and 12-inch concrete with 2-inch insulation on both sides. So you basically pour your footing over there. You set these things up Legos. You pour the concrete inside. Your walls are done. Give a rundown of what we were talking about there.
Well, Robert actually, him and I met him, and Robert invited him to our meeting. And he was excited about our meeting and excited about Green. So we're going to get him in as a member. And he he wants to build homes. He doesn't necessarily want to sell the franchises or the licensing agreements. And it just so happens the name of his company is Green Block. So it kind of fits perfect with our networking here. So yeah, you explained the block pretty well. It's a styrofoam block with a 6-inch center, and you pour that, you put them together like Legos, and then you pour it with cement. And there's a process involved, and what happens is it creates a very high energy efficient home that even the code for the air conditioning has to have a 25% fresh air into the home, because the home ends up being so airtight that they have to bring fresh air into the air conditioning systems. And it's very solid, and the insurance is less money because of the hurricane proofness of it. And it goes up faster because you're pouring concrete into these blocks rather than laying block. A lot of super advantages to it. So this gentleman actually owns the block company. Okay, not necessarily the company that makes the block, but he's not buying the block from someone else and then building a home. He owns the block company, and it's called Green Block. And he has a partner in that he wants to sell out. The partner wants to sell out, but this man also wants to, his name is Kevin, by the way. He wants to sell franchises, or for right now, until his franchise agreement is complete, licensing for it. So I've thought that if any ICF builder in, say, Nashville or whatever area of the country, they could join and join into our networking of advertising and promoting of this high energy efficient and quicker way of building, and not necessarily less expensive, but not any more expensive. And we're also looking into my builder that I qualify as company. He used to do red iron construction, commercial buildings, and he's talking about having one of the red iron companies here in town do build a steel home with red iron. That's the big I-beams, and then it would be just the frame, and then we'd fill in between that with steel, and then you'd stucco over the steel, and then of course build the inside the way you would normally. And those would go up really fast too. So we'd have 2 options, or actually 3 options, of how to build a home here, and that would be the regular concrete block, the green block, and then the steel. So the steel is kind of off in the future, but the green block is here and now. He's ready to build now.
And you were talking earlier about the statistics of people moving into Lee County and Charlotte County and such, 50,000 a year.
Yeah, if you go over all the statistics about the baby boomers retiring, you got like 83 million baby boomers, and 40 million of them, about half of them, can afford to own a home in a warmer climate, a second home, or move to a second home. And supposedly we're going to end up with 4 million of those in South Florida in the next 10 years. So it comes out, even when you whittle it down, I cut all the statistics in half. And even when you whittle it down, we're talking about a 50,000 person increase in population in Lee and Charlotte County every year for the next 10 years. So it's huge.
Anyway. All right, we are over time. We like to keep everybody so they can get home to their families. Thank you, Larry. Thanks, Doc.
Have a great night.
Thank you all for being here.
Say good night.
Good night.
Talk to you tomorrow, Robert.
Okay.